Welcome to the 5th installment of our series, Let's Talk Growth. If you have missed any of the previous one, don't worry. Look for us on Reconciliados por Amor on YouTube and go ahead to the RPA Youth playlist and you can see all the other installments of the series and more. So we would love for you to check those out. Thank you so much for watching today. We have been, like I said, talking about growth, and we're trying to highlight certain things that help us grow in our Christian life, help us grow as Christians, and just kind of help us be better all around. And so we've talked about reflection, we've talked about the Holy Spirit, prayer, and the Word. And today we're going to talk about something called mentorship. So basically, mentorship is having a mentor. You've probably heard people you look up to, or you've heard it maybe in the movies, or maybe thrown around a little bit at school about how it's good to have a mentor, and who is your mentor, and have you asked somebody to be your mentor before? And that's because it's so healthy to have a mentor. Sometimes your mentor can be a family member, somebody's related to you, who's related to you, and maybe it's not like you have an official, this person has an official title because they're your aunt, or they're your mom, or your dad, or your cousin, but they can totally be mentors in your life. Sometimes it's a teacher, it can be a coach, it can be a pastor, it can be a leader at your church, or somebody else at your church, just somebody who prays for you and gives you advice. And we can have multiple mentors as well, especially, sometimes we can have a career mentor and a school mentor, or maybe a spiritual mentor. And so you can have multiple mentors, and through the seasons as well, the relationship you have with people can change into a mentorship type relationship. And basically, I want us to go to the Word really quick, because in Proverbs 24, verse 6, it says, "For by wise guidance you can wage your war, and in abundance of counselors there is victory." And so I just want to encourage you guys to listen to this verse one more time. "For by wise guidance you can wage your war, and in abundance of counselors there is victory." And in abundance of counselors there is victory. So oftentimes it's really hard for us to reach out to somebody who's maybe a little bit wiser, maybe has more experience, and admit that you need help, or admit that you want to be accountable to that person through whatever it is you're going through. And it's hard. It takes humility. You have to kind of let down your guard and admit that you don't have it all together. Admit that you want to learn from somebody. And I think, especially as young people, that can be hard, because we want to prove ourselves. We want to show people that we have it all together. We want to show people that we can do things on our own. But it's really important. And in the Word, we see a lot of examples of mentorships, that mentor relationship. You have Elijah and Elisha, you have Moses and Joshua, you have Paul and Timothy, and Jesus and his disciples. I mean, the Bible is full of this. It has this theme throughout it and it says in Proverbs, "For by wise guidance you can wage war." I mean, you don't want to be a one-man show going to war with somebody if you haven't had the guidance or the training to do so, right? I mean, I don't know if you would ever really want to wage war as a one-man show. I don't think that would be a very good decision, but the verse says, "By wise guidance you can wage your war." If you have gone through and you have thought. See, when we try to make decisions without getting guidance from outside of us, we have what we've talked about already in previous installments of the series, is we have blind spots. There's certain things that we're not seeing. There's perspectives that we don't have. And so obviously in being in a relationship with Christ and praying and through hearing God and through seeking his voice, we can gain better perspective. But it's even better too if we have the perspective of other people around us to help us as we're growing, to help us go, hey, have you thought about this? Hey, I've done that before and it didn't work. Why don't you learn from my failures instead of you having to fail as well? I can help you. That's what a mentor does. See, a mentor kind of, some people think it's like a father type figure, and yeah, sure, it's kind of like a parent that doesn't have that added complexity or drama that an actual parent has. It's a different type of relationship, but yeah, it's somebody who can, that was a big firework, who can look out for you and who has guidance and wise words to give you as you are going through a certain season or going through something in your life. And it's very important. And I wanted to share this quick clip. Actually, it's a couple quick clips of other people and how mentorship has impacted them personally or what they think about mentorship. So take a look.
Hey everyone. My name is Humberto, for those of you who don't know me. Most people call me Betito, but I just wanted to really share with you my experiences with mentorship and how I think they can relate to you and how they can be beneficial for you too. So in my experience, mentorship in the secular sense has been really great because there's been people that have been helping me out or that have helped me out, and they've kind of guided me through school and job related, where things that I didn't know, they would show me, and it's been a really helpful tool and thing to have in my life. So I think it would benefit you, but more importantly, I think it's in the spiritual world where we probably sometimes have questions and we don't really know what to say. Or where to look for all these answers that we try to seek. So I think mentorship is a really great thing. And just to share with you one of my experiences in college, I was really searching for some knowledge about the Bible and about church and everything. So because I was off to college without my family, without my church family either, I went to a Christian club in school, and in the Christian club, one of my friends mentioned a Bible study that was outside of the club, and so I go over, and you can see that it was run by these two guys. One was named Jubilee, and the other one was named Lampstand, and you can really see in their lives that, and in their manner, that these men were devoted Christians. They loved the gospel. They knew what they were talking about. And in that Bible study, I really think that Jubilee mainly, he mentored us, this group of maybe 4 or 5 college students. And Jubilee already had a job. He was a dentist and he really had other things to do, but I think his full-time job was really mentoring because that was his passion. So he took us under his wing and he really gave me that spiritual food that I needed through that time. And I think it was a great opportunity for me to begin with, because it, like I said, at that time I didn't have my church family, I didn't have my real family, biological, and I was really searching for some extra nutritional food, spiritually speaking. So Jubilee helped me just go through verses, go through the Bible study, and really took me under his wing and taught me everything that he could in the 4 or 5 years that I met him. So in my experience, it was great. And if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence and you're saying, oh well, I don't want to take a mentor because I don't know what they will say to me, I don't know how they'll act, I don't know if I want them to know what I'm going through. So if you're on that fence, I will say completely go over it, take that step and get a mentor. It's really helpful. And in reality, these mentors are going to teach you what you probably won't see, because they've been through life, they've been through the situations that you've gone through. So really, in my experience, I think it's really worth it. I think it was really helpful, and I encourage you to go ahead and be a mentee. Let yourself be a mentee and take a mentor. So thank you. You guys have a great one. See you later.
What do you think a mentor is?
A mentor, what I think is somebody who takes care of you. Like, what he would do is he would take care of you, he would help you. It's pretty much like Batman and Robin, like it's his sidekick. It's something like that, pretty much. Or you and God.
So why do you think it's important to have a mentor?
Well, you might need help in some times in your life, like you're stressing out, you're getting mood swings, or something like that, pretty much.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Not really.
Thank you. I hope those clips were encouraging and maybe kind of funny too. But I want to encourage you today that if you might even have to think, you might be thinking too hard if you don't know who your mentor is, because it might be somebody that you maybe have not labeled as mentor, but they've played that role in your life. And so if you have somebody like that, take advantage of that relationship and pray for that person, and maybe even make it official and just say, hey, I recognize you as a mentor in my life. Is that okay if I do so? And if you didn't know that you had that level of influence in my life, I want you to know that you have it. Or maybe you don't have a mentor right now. And maybe you have, like I said earlier, been trying to do things on your own and have been really wanting to prove yourself, which isn't wrong. I mean, I understand that we want to do the right thing, and sometimes we feel like we're humans, and so having control feels really good. And I don't want to say that that's wrong, but it's so good if you could have one or even more than one person who really does have that, you've given that position for them to speak into your life. And if you don't have that, I want you to think about why you don't have that. Maybe you just never have reached out to somebody, or maybe you're really just closed off to that, and why are you closed off to that? And I want to encourage you to maybe, through prayer, or just think about the older, doesn't have to be a lot older than you, but just maybe older people in your life that could have that influence in your decisions and help you maybe see things a different way. Maybe it's a pastor, maybe it's a leader at your church, maybe it is somebody at your school, a counselor even, somebody who you look up to and who you can respect and who you can swallow their advice, and you can really think about it and not just dismiss it or ignore it, which sometimes happens often with our family members too, when we're in this formation stage and growing. Sometimes having family in that position is complicated, and that's okay. We need to always honor our parents, but if you could find somebody, I just want to encourage you to think and pray about it, to find somebody who can play that role in your life. And whether it's the same person for years and years to come, or if it changes up through different seasons, that's okay. Just if you want to grow by wise guidance. Find somebody who can speak wisdom into your life and help you grow the right way. If you want victory, if you want to celebrate wins in your life, find an abundance of counselors. Surround yourself with people who you respect, who you see the hand of the Lord in their life and you've seen what they've been able to accomplish. It doesn't just have to be, I'm not just talking about, financial accomplishments, but people, when I think about a good mentor, I often think about somebody who is enjoying life, somebody who is saying yes to God, and you can see that they are living an abundant life. They are enjoying the things that they're doing. I want to be mentored by somebody who has known how to live, who has known how to take advantage of their blessings and taken advantage of their authority in Christ and have been able to really live out their purpose. Because that's what I want to do. I want to live out my purpose. I want to be used by God. I want to extend His kingdom, and I want to be who He made me to be. And so I want to find people who I know are true to themselves, and I want to be around that influence. And so I hope that encouraged you today. Pray about who your mentors could be if you don't have one, and if you do have one, pray for them and let them know that you see them as that in your life. And stay tuned for our next video next week on Sunday. We usually are always dropping new messages at about 11:30 on Sunday mornings. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you soon.